Thanks for watching our podcast. Here at Spear Consulting, our services include business strategy and human resources consulting. In HR, we offer executive search, executive coaching, and work psychology consulting. Please visit us at spiritmco.com, where we fulfill our clients' dreams virtuously. Enjoy your show.
All right, welcome back to the Leading Virtuously podcast. Today we have someone who I'm so excited to be able to introduce to the podcast. Ray Ray, I must admit that I'm a fanboy to to you and to your story. So excited to be able to connect with you today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I appreciate you, taking the time to watch the movie, and I'm glad that you were inspired by it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will admit that you had both my wife and I in tears throughout the movie. So I love your story, and like I said, excited to share it with our audience.
Hopefully, it will tears of joy. So, and everybody found something great out of that release of emotion.
So, Ray, for our viewers that may not know your story, who are you?
Who am I? I go by Ray Ray McElrathbey simply because of the movie itself. Ramon McElrathbey is my real name, but I'm a loving father, brother, friend, teammate, and anything that most people would need me to be. As far as titles, I'm the founder of the Ray Ray Safety Net Foundation. Um, Safety Freight, which is a freight company moving freight from state to state regional. I'm just a number of different other things, but no need to discuss at this very moment. But those are just some of the things that make me who I am.
Excellent. You said that you're a father. How many kids do you have?
I have one son, and he has a brother, so I have two sons.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So Ray, how did you get to the leadership position that you're in today? Tell us your story.
Well, God, I think I was chosen. Not like a golden child in a sense, but I like to think of myself as Aladdin. Um, Before Aladdin was, very popular story. There's no magic carpet for me, but um, I'm the diamond in the rough. I've been through a bunch of different things in life that I guess led me to this point. And the leadership position that I managed to find myself in now is just persevering. I think faith and perseverance has got me to where I'm at now, and it's what I hope to continue to do moving forward. Is just to continue to persevere and move and try to accomplish God's works.
Amen. So for those, can you give us kind of like the overview of what you went through with college that the movie Safety kind of highlights in your own
Well,
in your own.
it's okay. Yes. The movie highlights my time at Clemson University. While at Clemson University, I gained custody of my 9-year-old brother at the time, Faymore, and he stayed with me on campus, and I was a student athlete at Clemson University. It was ironic, I guess, newsworthy simply because this is my brother and I got custody of him, and I was playing college football at the time. So it was, putting my family first at the time. But he came to campus on Clemson University's campus. He was supposed to be visiting for a little bit of time, and he didn't want to return back home due to my family situation. My mother was addicted to crack cocaine at the time, and my father had his struggles with my mom in their relationship, so he was in and out. And so Faymore came to Clemson for a visit and didn't want to return home. He actually said he would rather go to foster care than go back home. And it made me pay more attention to, the things that he was going through, because I had been through things similar, but I never wanted to go to foster care. That was not one of the things I wanted to do. I think, I had previously been in foster care, so it wasn't somewhere I was trying to be again. And so, but through me hearing that he didn't want to return, he asked could he stay with me. And initially I said no, but I got around to it. I was able to speak to some of my mentors and I got mixed responses. When I went to speak to some of my mentors, I got mixed responses. Then one said hell no, one said you know, do what you can,
Mhm.
and what's the worst that can happen. And so I went in between those two and decided to go ahead and do it. And one thing led to another, and here we are today. They making a movie about that story. They
Wow.
made a movie about that story, about that time I was at Clemson, about my time at Clemson, taking care of my younger brother.
And this just released on Disney, correct?
Yes, the movie was released December the 11th on Disney Plus.
Awesome.
Safety.
Safety, yes. Ray Ray,
Yes.
you're in the movie. The character that plays your little brother or younger brother is it kind of like has his quirks and is definitely like a loud personality. Did you find that? Is that how close is that to reality?
Well, Famar, within the people that knows him, because I would classify him as an introvert unless he knows you, and then he's that bubbly kid that you seen in the movie. Because around my teammates, my brother understood, and as well as me, that he was in a safe place, so he could do whatever he wanted, and act in the manner and be a kid. And before that, it wasn't necessarily the case for him. So with the gentleman playing my brother, around the people that my brother knew, around my teammates, that's how he was. He was a very precocious individual. But as Thaddeus is the gentleman that played him, he's actually that way all the time because he's more of an entertainer. That's just his either if when he first meets you, he doesn't meet any strangers, and he's a great kid, and he did a wonderful job playing my brother.
Hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. Our audience is the executives that I built my career on as a consultant for the last 15 years. And they may not have to go through some of the hard living that you and your brother had to go through growing up with what the movie shows as gangs and drugs. But they may be fighting, some dysfunctional cultures where people speak negatively against each other. Whatever the negative culture that they may be in. I'm just kind of curious, as you mentioned that you had to go through the same thing that your brother went through. It wasn't really documented in the movie, but how didn't you kind of fall into that type of lifestyle, which so many unfortunately don't have that kind of like discipline to stay away from?
I did. I fell into the lifestyle, and through grace, I was allowed to only visit the lifestyle as opposed to live it.
Mm.
There was times in my life where I was doing things that I didn't necessarily have no business doing. Hell, I was kicked out of elementary school
Oh,
in
wow.
the fourth grade for bringing a knife to school and um, just being ignorant, just being crazy, crazy young man, lost, as I would say. And it was through those experiences where because my family life wasn't that great, but I was able to get outside of that to a place where I could see life outside of the projects, life outside of just being a poor kid. I was luckily raised by the coaches that I played with.
Mm.
So I stopped living with my parents at around 8 years old, and I started staying with the coaches that I played with. So I stayed with my 10 and under football coach, and then I stayed with my AAU basketball coach, and I spent some time with my high school principal as well. So I moved around a lot, and luckily, I found the right people to help me out and steer me in the right direction. Because as a young kid, I was lost. It wasn't that I was a bad kid at heart. I just didn't, as some people would say, how can you, not force a kid to do wrong when there's a lock on the right door? And so the right doors for me were locked. There wasn't opportunity there. There wasn't things that I could take advantage of there. So some of the wrong doors were always open. And so it's easy to travel down those roads. So for what I would say to people who who have these trials and tribulations in their life, understand that when you're going through it, it might seem like the worst thing that ever happened to you. And a lot of things in my life that I went through initially felt like some of the worst things that ever happened to me. Me getting kicked out of elementary school at the time could have been one of the worst detrimental thing that could ever happen to me. But I went from a classroom of 25 kids to a classroom of one. It was just me and the teacher. And so, whereas that situation, I had God flip that situation. I kept faith, as I would say, because I was always God got me type of person. Flipped that situation and made it so that it's one of the better things that have happened to me. And most things are like that. You just, as people would classify it as finding the silver lining, but there is a silver lining. There's always some good that can come out of a lot of these things, a lot of the situations that you're going through. You just got to find it and hone in on it and work towards that as opposed to everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I find that exactly what you're saying, Ray, that our major life sufferings are ultimately promotions if we have
Yes.
the ability to be patient and to just continue to keep doing the next right thing and just working hard through it. So thank you for sharing that, because I really think that your life is just that story of it, of like don't allow the suffering to basically ruin you.
Right. It is not who you are. Don't let it determine your future, because understand you're in a moment of time. And we know one thing about time, it does pass. So, and all things do come to pass. So you just gotta wait it out, ride it out in a sense. And if you have faith, if you believe in God, then you can lean on God and you can lean on your faith in order to get you through it. But just know every day is not a good day, but every day is not a bad day as well. And so understand that there's a balance in the world, and the energy that you put out, you'll get back. So try to live the best, try to live the life that you want.
Hey, Chris here. Hope you enjoyed the episode where we discussed all things going bald. Just joking. The Leading Virtuously podcast. If you enjoyed the episode and the podcast, will you please subscribe on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify? Or you could also share it with a friend. That would be tubular. I hope you have an awesome day.